another layout, and I am redoing another page from my Disney album. This is the double page spread that I have, and I'm going to redo this using the Shimelle Field Trip collection. So first I'm going to go ahead and take off some of these photos. I may end up cutting down some of these. We will see. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do here, but I just don't love this page, so I'm gonna do it over. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I think it wasn't an ugly page or anything, but you know, I did this back in 2004. So I decided there's so many cute things out right now, and my style has changed so much, and I'm not changing my entire Disney album, just going back to pages that I don't really love and changing some of them. And let me tell you, some of these, I scrapbooked every single photo, literally every photo. And I don't know why. That's just what I did back then. And now I kind of feel like I don't need every single photo. I mean, some of these photos I scrapped, the photos are terrible. So why did I scrap them? Why did I feel the need to scrap them? Well, back then, you know, we didn't have digital. Every photo was printed, and I guess I felt like I had the photo and I should scrap it. And I did. So now I'll go through these photos, kind of decide what I want to keep, what I want to get rid of. Some of them I may trim down, and we'll just see what we come up with. Now, depending on how many photos I keep, I have to decide if I'm going to do a one-page layout or a two-page layout. So this is the only one of Jack and I. There's these two. This one's really not showing much. I don't think I need it. This one is Max with a somewhat scared look on his face. I'm not sure. I think I do want to keep the Buzz because, you know, it was a big part of the ride. This was like a talking Buzz guy, and the kids loved it. But I'm going to cut him down a little bit. So maybe make these two the same size. Let's see, how big is this? What size is this? Of course, I did not measure, I just cut. So I'm just going to cut it myself. Okay. So I know I'm going to use these two. I'm going to use this one and this one. Just going to trim down this border a little bit. I don't think... Do I even want this one? I mean, you know what? This is just not sticking well on this, so we're going to just take this off. And honestly, I am in very few pictures in this album because I took most of the pictures. So I'll probably keep this one because And this is the only one of Jack on this ride, so we're just going to start over with all of the backing of photos. So I might just keep, honestly, these pictures here. Maybe I can throw in this one of Austin, but really I don't know if I need that. So, and same thing with this. I mean, this really isn't a good picture. It's not showing anything. So, let's see what we've got here for papers. We've got a lot of space stuff in here, and I was thinking about using this paper, at least half of it. Maybe like this half, because it's kind of got the colors, or at least these pieces. So we'll kind of see what we've got here, but let's go through and get out the pieces that I think will work. This one, I think this would work, but there's so much, so many photos. I don't know. I feel like I'd be covering that all up. This would work. I don't think I want to do that for a background. Let's see. If you guys didn't see, I just did a dinosaur layout. It is on my little scrapbook store, Scrapbooking Layouts and More page. I did a live video, so you can always check that out. Let's see here. This one is cute with the spaceship. I like with that, with just the color. Okay. There's another one I might just bring in for some yellow. Maybe the stripe. And let's see, is there anything on here? I don't think so. So, let's first see what we can do. Let me grab a piece of white cardstock.
Okay, so I decide to take out these pieces of the specialty paper, and I'm thinking about putting like a little wedge of these colors in the corner of the 12 by 12 white sheet of paper. You'll see quickly that I do end up changing my mind, but this is one way you could use the specialty paper, is to take out the color, the little perforated pieces all together and use them separately on a page. You could also just take out like one of each color and maybe back one section with a tone-on-tone pattern paper or something like that and use it as a whole. I wanted to give this a try, and I'm not going to do this. I find that I'm going to end up going with a whole different layout, and I'm going to spread this out to be a 2-page spread instead of a 12 by 12 spread. So here is where I'm going to lay out my photos, and I apologize, my camera is out of view. I'm still having trouble with my camera mount, just not holding in place. I'm working really hard to try to get that fixed, but it will get fixed here shortly. I will realize it has moved, and I will move it for you here in a bit. So here is where I'm thinking, how am I going to fit all of these photos on this page? And I do want to use all of the photos. Then I started thinking, well, maybe I will use half of that circle. So I'm taking out the pieces of half of that specialty sheet. I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to back each section with a pattern paper. So not each little strip, but each triangle section is going to be backed with a different pattern paper. And that is I'm going to use as a large element on my layout. Here I've already backed it. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I already backed it. I didn't want to do that on camera because I felt like it was going to take far too long. And then I pulled out that big space sheet that I thought I wasn't going to use as a whole because it's too big, but I'm going to kind of have a major part of that side hold the title in one photo, and then I'll do 3 photos on the right side of this double page layout. So that specialty paper, I ended up fussy cutting it out into a half circle. As you remember before, it was a squared off sheet. So I just fussy cut around that, and I'm going to place it right there on the right side of that double page spread. And I'm pretty sure here shortly I'm going to move my camera so you'll be able to see a little bit better what's going on. I don't even think I'm really doing anything at this point. I might be backing my photos actually. I'm not sure. Well, here's my photos. So I'm starting to decide how I want to place my photos. I'm going to put the 3 down the right hand side and 1 to the left. Oh my goodness. I hope I fix this soon. I'm pretty sure I do. There we go. I'm going to move it up a little bit. So this is Field Trip Collection, like I mentioned before. And if you did not pick this up, and especially if you have children or grandchildren to scrap, or Disney photos or museum photos, it is an amazing collection by Shimelle. But Michelle does still have this available in the shop at my little scrapbook store. So head over there. I'll leave the link below. If you would like this Happy Scrappy bag, it is available. It's at a very discounted price, so great time to pick it up. If you're new to my little scrapbook store, you can use my code, which is TISAREF. I'll leave that in the description box as well. And use that code at checkout and you will get 10% off your entire order for your first time purchase at the store. So I'm deciding what to do here on the right. I didn't back the photos. I almost always back photos, but I didn't this time. So I didn't want that much of that planet paper on the right. It was just too heavy with all the dark on the left. So I decided to just tear down a sheet, and then I'm going to use the yellow and I'm going to tear it, and I'm just going to layer those up on the right hand side here. And then of course I'll have that half circle that I created lay over that darker piece of paper. And I really like how that breaks it up, where you get a little bit of white and lightness, and that white cardstock then ties in with the white kind of cut file look of that specialty paper, and then it's also going to tie in with the white title that I add on the left hand side of the layout. So I like how that balances it, makes it a little less heavy, because it's real with all of that darkness. It was just a little bit too much, and then the photos are kind of dark too, so I wanted to lighten it up by adding that white cardstock. Now I am backing the photos. Like I said, normally I would back them all with white cardstock and then a pattern paper. This time I just backed them with each with a different pattern paper from the collection. I do think I end up cutting down, if I haven't already, I do end up cutting down that middle photo a little bit. And that's going to go in the middle, and then the photo of my Jack and I will go on the top, and then the photo of the kids kind of behind the bars with the, I don't know what that character's name is in Buzz, but the mean guy, you know, the bad guy, evil one, I guess, on the bottom. So we'll get all these papers glued down here shortly. Yeah, right now you can't see it, and I'm sorry about that, but I am just cutting down that middle photo because I didn't want to have to tuck it under the cut file because I wanted to add foam adhesive to all the photos. So I cut it down so it would fit in that section nicely. I do think I'm going to fix my camera yet again and again. I am so very sorry that you're not seeing what I'm doing here, but all I am doing is backing each photo. This layout is going to come together pretty darn quickly once I get everything glued down. It's going to be minimal embellishing because there's a lot going on here, and this is typically the type of double page spread I like to create, so more of companion pages rather than having a layout span across 2 pages. For some reason, I just struggle with that type of design. So I tend to go for more coordinating pages versus a true double page spread, I guess. I mean, I still consider this double page, but I think you know what I mean. Like, I just struggle with the continuity going across 2 pages. So do you see how the white just really helps balance all of that? I really like that. I considered popping up this half circle, but then when I realized I would rather pop up my photos, I didn't want to pop up all of it. So I just chose to glue that circle straight down onto the pattern paper. I'm backing my photo on the left with this star paper because I am going to be backing it onto that darker pattern paper. I wanted to use a lighter pattern paper for backing it, and I thought the stars would be a perfect complement to the theme, and it would also carry the stars that are in the cut file over to the left hand side of the page, again to provide some continuity there. So then you do know that these pages are related. They're related because we've got the same theme, and we've got kind of that dark pattern paper running across both sides without it being exactly the same. Here I'm trying to fix my camera again. Oh, it's so frustrating. So I'm going through the ephemera. I'm just going to pull out anything kind of space related, and then I will kind of go from there. I thought that astronaut would work. I'm pulling out the spaceship. I think those are going to be the only 2 actual ephemera pieces that I use. And then I'm going to pull off this sticker that has the countdown. And I'm going to put that right there. And I like how that looks. It just kind of blends in. It almost looks like it might be part of the pattern paper, but it's not. And I don't know. I like how it looks. I decide I'm going to use the astronaut over to the right because I do need to bring some embellishing over there. And I thought there was so much going on with the planets and everything on that pattern paper that the astronaut it was just not necessary over there. So bringing it over to the right hand side, I really liked that idea, and I do end up popping him up as well. So he's going to kind of be an embellishment cluster per se. This isn't going to be your typical layout though, where you've got, 3 embellishment clusters or anything like that. It's going to just kind of be the title with some embellishing, and then that little bit embellishing on top of the cut file, and that is it. So definitely not a typical layout for me. Here I'm trying to decide, do I want to put that over the cut file or do I want to move it over to the right? I am going to end up moving that over a little bit. And looking at it, I really love how it turned out. And I thought it was a good use of that busy pattern paper on the left. I still was able to incorporate a photo, but then when I add my title there, it's really going to tie it in to all of the stuff that's going on the right. So I put everything up on foam tape. I'm just going to lay that down. And then I believe I am going to move over and work on my title. I thought about putting that buzz picture up on foam tape, but I decided against it because I'm going to be using thickers for my title, and I felt like the thickers gave enough dimension over there that I could just glue that buzz photo right directly to the pattern paper. And as you can see, I put that rocket ephemera just right along the edge there, kind of as though it's going up that 1, 2, 3, 4 timeline sort of sticker. Here we go with my thickers. I'm going to use 3 different thickers. I think I'm going to add these blue, but as you can see, it does not really pop off very well. So I'm going to pull out a different thicker that I have and add, it's going to be 3 different styles. And I apologize, but I take my thickers out of their original packaging. So I don't know the names of these, but if Michelle has them in the shop, I will leave a link to them below for sure. So that you can pick them up. This white thicker is one of my all-time favorites. It's kind of on the skinny side, but it's also tall. So I really, really love this one. And if she has them, I actually think I need to pick up another one. So I'm going to title this To Infinity and Beyond. And I'm going to have the title kind of follow along the lines of the paper. I didn't have eyes, so I ended up having to cut down a number 1 to an I for infinity, but it worked out perfectly. And you can see right now the 2 is too far away from infinity, but I'm going to move that over as well. So we'll get this title put down and then glue on our ephemera and some puffy stickers, and then that'll be it. This was a really fun page to make, and like I said, it's kind of a redo, which makes it even more fun, and I really love how the end result turned out. I'm going to put "and" on this second line. I'm going to use the same font that I used with the 2, and then "beyond," I'm going to use even a larger font. So I love, love, love mixing fonts. It's one of my favorite things to do with a title, especially I'm one that when I pick a title, I often will pick a title that's already done for me, like in a word thicker or something like that. But when I do get to use thickers on their own, I really, really love using them with different types and styles. I decided to move the "beyond" below that to fill up a little bit more of that page, and I didn't want it going and covering up that planet all the way. It's going to run into that planet, but it's not going to cover it up. So I really like how that works too, and it just fills up the space a little bit better. I love this thicker. I love the font, and it actually has pink foam with the kind of glossy white letters, and I really, really love this one. Again, if it's available in the shop, I will link it below. And there's pink in this layout, so I felt like it really worked having, having that pink foam in there. I'm going to finish off with some puffy stickers with some planets and then some stars, kind of make my little bit of a cluster over here with that astronaut. And once I add my little puffy stars, that will be it, and that's the completed layout. I hope you enjoyed this process. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and check out the links if you're interested in this collection. I hope you all have a great day. Bye, guys.